Hey Libras, welcome to your general reading for the week. I'm Empress Rose, and all these cards have been pre-shuffled, and I think that's all I need to say at the beginning here. So we're going to jump into the Oracle Mystical Moments deck for an intuitive start to the beginning. No, intuitive beginning. It's going to help inform us for the rest of the reading. All right. What's our message for Libra? It's a big message for Libra, but we'll take it. Oh, Virgo just got this one. New direction. Something in your life wasn't working, you jumped ship. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Other people aren't so happy about it, but you're moving on. You're moving on to something else. And who knows what, who knows where. Fate will help you get there, but you've grabbed onto the seed and you're taking a new start. This is, oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. This is all these hot air balloons. All of this, look at that. So, a long way home. This is, you've pulled up anchor and you're heading someplace new. It's a long journey in front of you. It's not short. If you thought it was going to be short, it's not, because both of these have a stagnancy energy to them. You're holding. Okay. So this journey isn't going to be quick. You're holding and you're waiting. The thing that balloons have in common is that they're not in charge of where they're going. They're the jellyfish of the sky. Well, jellyfish actually have more say in where they're going than balloons do. So balloons rely on spirit, on movement, on things outside their control, the winds of change, the winds, on something completely outside of their control. And here's all I can see here is 3 cards telling me that you've decided something, you're heading somewhere, but you don't get to control where, and you don't get to control how fast. Here we've got some fast movement. We've got a wish that's been made, and you're taking off. And this is your, I love a good dandelion, had a good dandelion wish. And there was a good idea at one point. It's no longer a good idea, and you're moving forward and you're taking off. You've made a wish, but you've grabbed onto your salvation, your one thing, and there's a little bit of a promise in the seed, but you don't get to decide where it lands and where it goes and how far it goes. This too, you've pulled up anchor. You've made a big decision in your life to move forward with something, to move, and you're waiting for that movement. You're waiting to go. You've got some messages here. You've got some ideas. You've got some guidance, a memory that's coming with you. But again, we have this stagnant air here, and you're not moving, and you're not moving as fast as you wanted to move, as fast as you thought it was going to move. And you're waiting for things completely out of your control to move you forward. You've got a companion here, though. That's what I want to say. This is like a little caravan of love. I don't know if you've heard that song, but this reminds me of a caravan. It's pink, and there's a lot of love here. But we've pulled up anchor, and it's just not going anywhere right now. You're just hanging out. You're waiting for something to happen. You have some memories with you, and you have a companion that's either way back here or way in front of you. So you guys are both going on a balloon ride together, and you're going someplace that's going to feel like home. Like, this journey is worthwhile. Nothing here is saying this journey is not worthwhile and you shouldn't have gone, although you may be thinking that maybe you shouldn't have gone or that you're not going anywhere. But because this one was a disaster, and this one, you've pulled up anchor and you're just sitting here, you're hanging out, and you're like, why did we even pull up anchor? Why are we here? Why do we pull up anchor? Because we're not going anywhere. You know, I kind of wanted to go somewhere. I wouldn't have pulled up anchor if I didn't want to go somewhere. And now here I'm kind of stuck and I'm trapped. And this is a similar thing. This is these birds. So home in the sky. So there's a lot about home here. You're going home, but you're also going to be home the whole way you're going there. And there's a stagnant energy here. These birds are supposed to be flying. These are messages, I think, that you have, that you're not speaking. You're not able to say they could go somewhere if they wanted to. You've chosen not to let them fly. These messages are being held on. I love though that we've got all of these balloons and all of this home, and there's a lot of stagnancy. I mean, I don't love the stagnancy. Who loves smog? But this is smog, and smog comes from stagnancy, from the winds of change not coming through yet. So it looks like you're going to have kind of a stagnant week with not a lot happening. But you've definitely made a commitment to have something happen, and you definitely have these birds here, and you are both going home and you're taking your home with you. So each step of this way, each step on this journey, you are going to be getting comfortable, and you're going to be, this too is my home. This too is my home. You're taking your home with you. I mean, look at, in both of these, you have this home, this castle, this palace, this memory palace, I feel like, where you're going back somewhere. And this is a more pedestrian home, and this actually reminds me of, the coronavirus isolation, all these birds in their homes, not flying, not talking, just in their homes, hanging out. So there's a lot of still just hanging out energy here. And we're just going to be hanging out here this week in this energy. A little bit of a stagnant energy. We are ready and prepared to move quickly, but we're not. We have made a decision. And we've pulled up anchor. This is a bit of the pulling up anchor, moving on. We've pulled up anchor, we've made our decisions, and now we're waiting for the effects of the decisions, and we will not be seeing them this week according to the Oracle of Mystical Moments deck. We have memories, we have messages, and we have stagnancy. We're just sitting with our memories and our messages, not going anywhere. Okay, so we're moving to the Santa Muerte Tarot deck. These are already, of course, very thoroughly shuffled. All right, Libra, this is your past, this is your present, this is your inner landscape, this is that issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Yeah, this seems about right. Okay. Fuck. Okay, we're good. In the recent past, you have the Judgment card. This is something coming back for you to re-examine it and look at it. And there may be mixed feelings about this resurrection, this thing that's come back for us to look at and for us to analyze and see a little more. This has been divinely timed. Whatever happened here, whatever came back, whatever came back for you to re-examine and re-look at and try to re-understand, it was divinely timed. You were meant to be looking at that and be re-examining that at this point in your life. It's time for that to happen. You're in a graveyard. There was something that was sort of tragically cut off in its youth too early. We have this stump that shows up in several of these cards, and it's talking about having cut something off too soon. It's this child that died. That's a life cut too short. But here it is. It's coming back to life, and we might be having mixed feelings about this thing coming back to life. Some people are very excited about it. Most people are very excited about it, but we do have a few reservations here. We are in a graveyard, so it seems like something that looked like it was done and buried. I'm seeing some internal demons here, some icky little creepy crawlies that we keep in our hearts, and those are showing back up as well with this thing. Some of our maybe insecurities and fears and all of that's showing back up. But for the most part, we're dealing with something that was cut short, that was didn't have the opportunity to have a natural lifespan, and we're mostly happy that we get to revisit this, but we do have some mixed feelings. And it's the time. It was not a mistake that this came up at this time. In your present situation, you have the Five of Wands. So you have sort of a room in your self palace here. That you've discovered. There's been some sort of discovery of a way to see something, a way to be something in yourself that is. It's like I always think of it as, ourselves are these giant palaces and castles, and we're not always aware of every room. And you've stumbled into a room that you didn't know you had, and you've lit a match to see, there wasn't a light on, so you lit a match to see what this new room looks like, and you're pretty happy about it, about what you've discovered in your life. So this Five of Wands card is sort of a discovering something new and exciting, and I typically think of it as being about yourself, but it could be something external too. That is pretty pleasing. It's pretty exciting. You're not getting the full view of it right now, but the initial glimpse of it looks pretty good. So inner landscape, we have the Seven of Swords, and so how I feel about this in your inner landscape is that. So typically this is waking up to some sort of treacheries to people in our environment that didn't have our best interests at heart, that buried us alive, and only through hope and self-reflection were we able to claw our ways out of it. And then now we're sitting here wondering what happened, thinking about what happened, realizing that these people weren't our friends. This is in your internal landscape, so I'm feeling, so how I'm going to read this is that you were sabotaging yourself, and you're just now waking up to see how you buried yourself alive. You sabotaged yourself. And you know, I think maybe you're looking at, wait, this room exists. This is possible. I have this. And now so internally you're like, wait, how did I not see that? How did I not know that? This now I can see clearly now. I can see all of this. And so you're kind of waking up to some self-sabotage, I think, and some ways in which you viewed a situation that weren't very helpful and actually might have been completely counterproductive. Part of you may have been wanting something, and this other part of you may have been saying that it was impossible, saying that you'll never have that. You might have been projecting your own insecurities onto a situation instead of being able to see the reality of the situation, what was actually happening. So I feel like you're waking up to some self-sabotage, some inner demons here that came back with this resurrection, and now you're able to look at those inner demons and be like, oh, wow, those are some inner demons. And I think now you're taking a new direction now that you saw that, and now that you're seeing this, but you are like waking up to your self-sabotage. At issue is this Ten of Swords. So this painful situation isn't changing yet. Well, no. So at issue, so Ten of Swords is the end of a cycle. It's a cycle of the mind, of thinking. So I think that really supports this. And it's creating an issue for you, though, because I don't think you've got all this. This is you're waking up, and I don't think you've got all of it. I don't think you've got all these swords out of your mind. And normally in the Rider-Waite deck, we see the swords stabbing them in the back, and then we get a reversal. It's very clear that these swords are coming out. These swords are falling out sort of on their own. But this is the issue, is that things are coming out, ideas are coming out, and it's sort of creating a blockage for you or an issue in the situation. It's helping to create this stagnancy. Maybe all the stuff you need to think through and figure out and understand and sort of solidify is creating a stagnancy for you. The stagnancy that's not moving the situation forward. And maybe those swords aren't coming out as fast, or as they're coming out, you're just having to sort of look at each sword, look at each wound, and there can't be any movement because you're still taking these swords out of your mind. So this is a changing of your mind, a changing of how you're seeing something and how you're thinking about something, and I think that's creating some slowness for you. You have to go through this process. In your environment, though, we have this Five of Swords. So you have this is a bit of a treacherous environment, and I don't quite understand how this fits in with the rest of the reading, because I'm seeing stagnancy, I'm seeing return, I'm seeing realizations, but externally you might be in a difficult spot, an impossible situation externally. So that's what the Five of Swords is about to me. It's about you, in this deck, you went in you had this, something happened which caused you to have to flee that thing, and then in front of you there's a new, so it's like It's like you're chased by a gang of thieves into a canyon, and now you've got these walls on either side. Now you get into the canyon and there's a gang of thieves someplace coming at you. So in your environment, and you're just stuck. There's just this stuckness, and any way you go is dangerous and treacherous, and any move you make is a little bit, is going to have consequences. This is a situation in which something has to be sacrificed. You can't have it all here. So in the environment, the situation here is that, yeah, this past thing may have come back. You're having to relook at the demons that came with it. But you can't have it all here. You're not going to be able to have it all. Although this, you're going to take your home to your home. That is sort of, you know, leaving your home, but also taking your home with you to a new home. But this is saying there's something in your environment that's like, preventing you from having it all. And you're going to have to you're going to have to sacrifice something. And it's not great. You're not excited about it because it's a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice, and you have to sacrifice something. What is it going to be? And it's not going to, obviously, anything you sacrifice is going to feel like a sacrifice. So maybe that's what's going on with this Ten of Swords here, is that we're thinking about these swords can't all come out. There's going to be a sword left, and you have to decide which sword you want left. Which pain is the pain that you choose? In your to-do list, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Change your luck. Change your mind. Your luck is changing. Time is changing. Something's moving forward. The Wheel of Fortune can be a balancing card for me, especially the way it's depicted here with the Angel of Death and the bridal angel. So there's a real change sort of happening. And your to-do list, I don't know how the Wheel of Fortune is part of your to-do list. So oh my gosh, I have a new deck, and we're gonna clarify with the new deck. So the Wheel of Fortune, it's changing luck and changing maybe how you see something, transformation of a situation. So normally it's an external card of something going on externally, but it's calling you into the energy, I think, of accepting change and accepting changes and accepting things to become the opposite of the way they've been. Accepting a change of fortune. And then in your possible outcome, we have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the achievement of what you originally set out to do here. We have this achievement this is a farmer. He's worked hard all year. His coins are coming in. His crop is coming in. He's got what he farmed. Like, everything came up. There weren't any disasters. Nothing terrible happened. Nothing wiped him out. And now he's dreaming about the next steps and what's going to happen. So that's where you're headed here. Is one of your possible outcomes is that these initial steps and stages have been successful. You did pull up anchor. You did grab onto this new seed. You did achieve what you set out to achieve. And now it's time to start thinking about the next one and where you want to go next and what happens next. So that's where this is all leading, this thinking about this situation that's returned, and you understanding new insights into it and realizing that you may have sabotaged yourself somewhere along the way, and trying to wriggle out of this pain, trying to end this pain cycle, but realizing that even in ending it, you're still going to have difficult choices, and one of the swords has to stay. You're going to get stabbed by something. There is some stagnancy here. So I think that this is what this is saying. This Wheel of Fortune is, you have to wait for the winds of change. You have to wait for the Wheel of Fortune to turn. It turns by itself. And you're here in these balloons waiting for it to do that. And I think that that's just what your to-do list is, to wait for the time to be right. Wait for the next thing. Wait for your next set of instructions. And it looks like you're going to get it. And you're going to start thinking about how to accomplish the next step in this process. So I just got, about 2 hours ago, a little bit ago, this Moonology deck. It's not very forthcoming so far. It doesn't really want to talk. But we're going to grab this. This is very clear instructions. And we just are grabbing one card. And it's meant to complement our to-do list, clarify that, but sometimes it doesn't seem to have anything to relate to anything else. So we'll see how this all comes together, but we're just playing with it now. So this Moonology deck. What do we have for Libra this week? Moonology. What do we have for Libra? See, this isn't, nothing jumps out here. Okay, we're going to grab a card here. Okay, this one, what's it? A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Wow, so I feel like that really, you know, we accomplish something. We reach some sort of fullness of a emotional, personal issue. Sort of a very watery card. Something we've been extremely protective of, and maybe have a difficulty letting go that may have been a little painful. These pinchers are looking like a little painful to me. So a painful personal issue, a painful inner demon here that came back with this resurrection. It looks like it's saying a personal issue reaches resolution. But again, it's supposed to be a to-do list, and most of them are to-do. But it is like a very passive voice here. So I think it's reaching its fullness of this cycle by itself. So looks like a painful, something very painful, very emotional, reaching some resolution here. So that sounds great. Awesome. All right, Libras, thank you so much for watching and liking and subscribing and commenting. All of that helps this little baby channel grow bit by bit, and I super duper appreciate it. Thank you very much.